morning, happy pot lovers, and happy Father's Day. I am here with a kiln unloading this morning. It'll be a quick one because I have plates on every shelf. I did open this earlier this morning and prop the lid so that it could cool enough to do this because it's Father's Day and I've got things to do. So, backstory on this load, my son asked me to make him some dishes, and so I have been working on that. So a lot of the stuff in this kiln is going to be similar glaze designs, and there is a peak at the top shelf. I think you can see it. We'll start with our cones. We got to a good 6. 7 starting to bend, so maybe 6.5. The top shelf has been firing warmer than the rest of the kiln. So yeah, we'll see what the lower shelves indicate. Let's start with this. Uh-oh, I had a little drip right there and got some plucking on the foot, so I'll have to sand that. That's a shame. This is a Rebecca picture inspired by Matthew Kelly pottery. The glazes. I think I have floating blue here. And this is Dragonstone. No, I'm sorry, it's not floating blue. This is Clayscape's Arctic blue. And it came up to about here. And then Frosted Mint came down and met the Arctic blue. And then where they met, I went over it with Dragonstone. And then I used Mako's Light Flux on the rim and on the handle. And I will put a before glazing picture up for you to look at. But I like the Frosted Mint with the light flux on it. Goes kind of blue. Can you see that? In the sunshine, the daylight, it's hard for me to see what you're seeing. Anyway, so we've got a little bit of that going on right in here and around here. I like the way that the Dragonstone plays with the Arctic blue and the Frosted Mint. So, and then on the bottom, I used Paula McCoy's Colors for Earth color concentrates. I've got a little work to do on the shelf, I see. All right, this one is an experiment. One, I wanted to see how the honey flux, this is honey flux out here, wanted to see how it did with some of the Colors for Earth color concentrates underneath. You can still see through it, but the color doesn't show. And you can almost tell my signature there, but not quite. I do like how I layered down, so it's less here. Where it's thinner, it's creamier. Where it's thicker, it's whiter. And then the inside is Kitten's Clear, which I mix. I get that off of Glaze. And I did over the rim with the honey flux to see how it did with the Kitten's Clear. It does obscure one of the flowers right there where it ran down. But the other thing I wanted to see was if I put a light in here, will the flowers show through on the outside? Because this is Laguna Frost, and it is translucent at reasonable thicknesses where you can still work with it and it's not too fragile. So it's an experiment for a project that I have in mind later on. Next is one of the bowls in the set of dishes. So this is Iron Luster ×4 over the whole bowl, inside and out. And then it is swoops like this. Let me get in front of the camera. Swoops of Smoky Merlot on the inside and the outside. And then smaller swoops of seaweed. And then oatmeal just on the rim in thick blobs. So it makes a lovely combination. You get blues and reds, a little bit of whites. And on the inside, you get kind of a starburst pattern. And then this, good, it didn't stick to the shelf. This is the matching plate. It didn't run. I don't see any pinholing. It feels pretty stable. I don't feel any wobbles. I'd call that a success. On future glazings, I think I'll come in further with the smoky Merlot. I came in to right about there, but it got kind of eaten up, I think, by the iron luster. So I'll do either heavier on the smoky Merlot or come in further with it. All right. Oh, in the sunlight. Oh my goodness. I'll have to pull that out in the sunlight and show you before we leave. Okay. This I was afraid might run. I'll have to cut that off because it's got a little stickage right there. I didn't like this in the first glaze, so I covered the whole thing with light flux. It's a little better now. Still kind of ugly, so I might go over it with maybe the fire brick red and give it one more. But oh, there it goes. Yep, that'll sand off easily enough. I did put it on a cookie with a raised foot. Joe Thompson, Old Forge Creations, shows you how to do these. There's a number of potters that use them, including Sarah Walton. She's in Canada. Joe's in the UK. But I was hoping this would look like flames. I'll have to live with that and see if I like it like it is. These colors should be a little more muted. I might cover it with honey flux and do it one more time. That might do the trick. Anyway, all right. And last on this shelf is a mug. Lots of test glazes in here. So this was Power Turquoise. And above it was, I want to say this was the Cenote. And then a light flux here and light flux where they meet. Cute little mug. This was a quick dip of Power Turquoise. I probably could have held it a little bit longer, but I'm not opposed to the look of that. No plucking on that. I do have a little kiln wash stuck to it, but cute little mug. So I don't know if you can see the detail. Is it focusing right here? Where's my... Yeah. So I'll put pictures at the end with glaze, colors, combinations, and so forth. All right. There's that one. Next shelf down. And you can see I do have some work to do on that shelf right there. I'm not going to touch it because I have cut my hand too many times on glaze runs. Okay. Not too bad. Okay. Give you a look in there. Again, glaze experiments. I see one that I'm really happy about. Okay. Let's start with this guy. Uh-oh. Run City. Maybe we won't start with this guy. Rocky, Rocky. Gently. Gently. Okay. Ooh, lost a bit of foot on that. Okay, so we have Copper Float. I like how that turned out. It does not show texture well, obviously. And then this is... I'll have to look. I don't remember. And inside is Power Turquoise. Oh, Shipwreck is what this is. And Bare Bottom. All right. This one was a refire. Did not stick. Yay. So this is Micro Pearl. This is Enchanted Forest. And I covered it with some Shipwreck and did it again. I'm not going to glaze this over again. I don't know. The Enchanted Forest just doesn't thrill me. And this is a tester bowl. on D-Mix. And we have Shipwreck here, Cenote here, and before I did anything, I put root beer just on the rim, and then I put the Cenote over it and the Shipwreck over it. I think that's what I did, although it might have some swirls of, yeah, I'll have to look. I'll post pictures of the before and after. Anyway, okay. This one, yay. Oh, yay. I don't know if you can see that or not. This one was supposed to be part of the dinner set, but I started in the wrong order and put seaweed in here. So I was like, oh, well. And then I did the whole inside with 2 times seaweed and then a wavy band of seaweed, just a top inch. And then I did 2 rows of light flux W's, a row of light flux on the rim, 1 row of light flux W's here. And I did dots of power turquoise and Shipwreck and Cenote. And then I covered the whole thing in honey flux. So that turned out awesome. The whole thing inside and out was honey flux. That's just plain honey flux there, 2 coats. So that is beautiful. All right. Here is another one of the dinner plates. Can you see that rim? I will show you these in the light because they are so much more beautiful in the sunlight. Okay, cones on this shelf. Actually, one of them hit the cookie here. That's okay. And we got to almost a cone 7 on that shelf. All right. And the last thing on this shelf is copper float. And inside and out, and then cream inside. And can you see down in there it says be happy, and then it has little blue flower buds on the bottom. That copper float really did nice, but it is expensive. So I wish they made it in a powdered form that I could mix up, but they do not. Anyway, nice red mug. Uh-oh, I'm going to have to vacuum out the kiln because pieces of that fell down off the shelf. And by the way, folks, don't touch those things with your hands because they will cut you faster than you can blink an eye. All right, I didn't even look, so let's look together. Okay. Interesting how I think the different heat levels affected things, because that bowl over there should be the same as the one that was on the top shelf. Looks like that plate ran. I see glaze drips on the shelf, and maybe glaze drips on the lid to the sugar bowl. So let's see what we've got. Set you down. Okay. Another tester, copper float, and I only did the here, and you could tell it ran. This is on hazelnut clay, standards hazelnut, and then it had Shipwreck. No, Dragonstone, and probably Shipwreck inside. Anyway, I like that copper float. It turns out nice, but note to self, it's a runner. Don't put it all the way down to the bottom. Okay. Let's see how the egg turned out. Okay, and don't touch these guys either because they will bite you. So this is Copper Float on top and Smoky Merlot on the bottom. This was a Simon Leach challenge, throw an egg. So I did, and then I carved it. Test to see how each of these glazes shows the texture. But yeah, kind of a, not a Fabergé egg, but a ceramic egg anyway. Okay, let's see what this did. This was, power turquoise inside? No. Dip in floating blue, then smoky Merlot and seaweed on the rim is what it was. Okay, let's see what this bowl looks like. Oh, this one was, okay, this one was not the same. This was a lavender mist all on the outside, and then in swoops on the inside with honey flux over it. And it looks like, I don't know, that might have had some cenote on there. I will look at my notes. Maybe cenote over the lavender mist there. Okay, tester bowl. Not thrilled with that one, but not terrible. Well, the plate didn't stick, but it did drip. You see where it was thin right there? That might be where it dripped, right in here. And that is another plate in the dinner set. And good, that didn't stick. Let's see if the lid fits. Oh yeah, beautiful. All right, other than the drip from the plate, it looks good. And we've got power turquoise, cenote, power turquoise on the inside, and shipwreck also. And then I put some micro pearl right in there. It doesn't quite show the flower, but I wanted to see one, how all of these would show the texture. The power turquoise shows the texture beautifully. And I like the lighter blue where they overlap. So this is shipwreck and cenote, light flux where they meet. This is shipwreck and cenote, light flux where it meets the power turquoise. Yeah. Okay. And that's it, guys. Only thing left here is the cones. We got to a 6. This one kind of tipped over a little bit. The 7 was starting to go. But yeah. All right. Now I've got lots of shelf work to do again. Getting tired of doing that. And sanding bottoms and so forth. So let me show you some of these in the sunlight real quick. I'll pause you and turn the camera in. Okay, so there's our sugar bowl in the sunlight. My signature right side up. And F is for frost. MMXXIV is the year in Roman numerals and my signature. But let's look at these plates because they really come to life in the light. There's one. That's the one that ran a little bit. That one's probably, I think this one had more seaweed on it. And then there's that. There's this one. And this one. Be happy inside. Copper float. Look at that sparkle. Oh my goodness. And look at this up here. That's the lavender mist. cenote, shipwreck, and root beer. I kind of like that shipwreck and root beer. There's the bowl. And I think this one might be the star of the kiln. Look at that color. Oh my goodness. Or to quote Nat at Mud Magic, oh my gloriousness. Look at the detail. Oh, look at that. Can you see? Wow, wow, wow. I'll have to do that over again. Smoky Merlot over floating blue. Seaweed over floating blue. Seaweed over floating blue is going to need flux for sure. It didn't do much. Doesn't thrill me. And then copper float with dragonstone and shipwreck. Then we've got the egg. All right, guys, that's it for now. You have a happy Father's Day and enjoy your family. I will catch you on the next one. If you enjoyed this content, please feel free to do all the YouTube things. I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate subscribers. We'll see you next time. Stay centered.